Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be doing a little bit of repotting here in the greenhouse. We've got 3 Streptocarpus that are absolutely beautiful. I'd like to get them repotted and put in the Hartley. When we're done with that, we're going to head out and plant a couple things. So first, look at how beautiful these plants are. 3 different varieties here. Another name for Streptocarpus is Cape Primrose. This one is a yellow pink cap is the name. It looks like tropical blend to me. I love it. And then this one, blue ice, and this one is strawberry ice. We treat these as house plants because they are not hardy enough to withstand our wintertime temperatures here in Zone 6. They're native to some area in Africa that stays warmer than us. So we have to keep them somewhere inside in the wintertime, but they bloom for so long. Most varieties will bloom for upwards of half of the year, 6 months, and some varieties, and I don't know if these fall in that category, but some will bloom all throughout the entire year. But I think they're a pretty easy care house plant, just so long as you know just a couple things about them. The first thing is they do not like to be exposed to direct sun. So wherever we place these in the Hartley is where they're going to go today. Wherever we place them, I'm just going to make sure they're in a shadier location. They can handle a little bit of morning sun, but that hot afternoon sun is not ideal for these. They need to be protected a little bit more. We're using the regular organic potting mix here. I had a little bit of seed starting mix left in my tray too, and I just kind of blended them together. And the pot that I'm using is just a step up in size from the one it's currently in, which is kind of standard houseplant transplanting rules. Their active growth time is usually about March through September, and during that time you'll want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on them for water, because they'll need a little bit more water during their active growth than they would in the wintertime. In the wintertime you can kind of back off and only water when the soil has sort of dried out that top inch or so. They don't like to be kept in a lot of moisture, so they're a nice houseplant in that way. You don't have to monitor their moisture level all the time. These roots look pretty good. It's not root bound at all. Maybe you can see that right there. Nice healthy looking roots. And you can feed them. In fact, feeding them like even a half strength fertilizer, which I'm just going to use this one right here, half strength. If you do that on a weekly basis, that'll keep them blooming really nice and keep them very happy. You can go not twice a week, every other week too, if you want to go that route and do more of a full strength application. And that's probably what I will do, is kind of a twice a month fertilizing schedule during the active growth phase. You can back off during the winter months. And I've got these aged terracotta pots that I absolutely love. I think they're beautiful like this, and I intend to put these in the center of the table in the Hartley when we're all done. So this one I can set aside. And you do want to keep up on deadheading. To do that, you just wait till the blooms are spent and you follow the stalk all the way down to the base and cut down at the base of the plant rather than leaving any of the stalk up. So we're just filling up here. I'm creating a well. You can use the nursery container if you want to kind of make your mold right there. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a big rock in the potting mix on this one. Add that to our floor down here. But yeah, this one isn't rooted in very much at all. So in it goes. Just tamp that soil in around the root ball, adding more if we need to. Okay, that one is done. Okay, last one. Oh, I just love this one. And some of these, I think the biggest problems that you'll find with these that you need to look for or watch for, if they produce a ton of oversized leaves, like great big ones, that can be either because they haven't had sufficient light or they've been overfed. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the moisture level. The leaves can easily start rotting off at the base if the plant is given too much water. However, if you notice on the leaves, like during the winter time, if they start getting kind of how like that burn on the ends of the leaves, that's kind of a normal thing to happen in the winter. So just trim those off and let it keep going, and keep an eye out for aphids. And that's pretty much, that's the only thing that I've dealt with these. So it's just a matter of making sure that you let them slightly dry between watering. Don't keep them, in too soggy of a situation. Make sure they're protected from direct sun, and then just general feeding and keeping an eye out like you probably do for all your other house plants. So usually I have extra soil after I work on a project. I always pile it in the back of the potting tray, and then I do one of these. because the cats use the greenhouse as sort of this is their heated space out here, and they can come and go as they please, but I don't want them getting into my soil. That would be gross. Look at how beautiful these are. Oh my goodness, I love it. And it has just started to rain. Can you hear that? So we'll wait a few minutes before taking these over to the Hartley. So I just brought this out because I had it here because I've been fertilizing seedlings, but I won't fertilize today, and I probably won't fertilize for a while. I'll let them get used to their new home, start forming up some roots, and then I will start feeding them probably in a month and a half or so. And I'm debating on whether I should take these 3 leaves off because there is a nice, more dense kind of canopy of foliage up here. Maybe I'll wait a little bit and let the plant adjust, but those might come off. Oh my. Do you want to out wrestle? Yeah, I don't think the rain's gonna last long. Blue sky coming our way. While we are in here, exciting update. We have a fig forming up. Are there any more? I thought I saw more on here. Maybe not. It's the best sound. All right, the rain has stopped. So I am going to attempt to fit all of my plants in this box so we can avoid multiple trips. There, should work. Let's go. And there they are. Don't they look pretty right there? The size of this is perfect and they're easy to move. I did make another centerpiece not that long ago that has one of those ivy wreath topiaries and a bunny worked in, and I thought it'd be so sweet to have it out here for the Easter sort of season. But it's just so big that, you know, every time we came out here to sit or do anything, I felt like I needed to move that off of the table. So it's just something that, you know, sometimes centerpieces are fun to be big and grand, but sometimes you want something that's easy to move and something that you can see across. You can see the other person across the table. So I think these are going to do real well. And the shades right now, if you see them right behind me, the shades are blocking the sun during the day. So at this point anyway, when the sun shifts a little bit more toward the middle of summer, it might even be a little bit too hot in here. I'm not sure. We're just going to have to keep an eye on them. And we'll keep an eye on them for light as well. The sun is behind a cloud right at the moment, but just a second ago you could see that there was a little light kind of cruising across the table to that chair, but they were largely protected, so I think it's going to be a good location for them. And we'll be out here every day checking on their moisture level anyway. It's a good idea, especially for freshly repotted things and plants that you've moved to a new location, to check their soil moisture level very consistently, at least for the first little bit, unless something changes with the weather or changes with their location. And that way you can gauge how much or how quickly rather, they're actually drying out. So they should be great, watered in for today after their repot, and we'll just be checking on them periodically. And our violets are still doing really well. You'll notice that I moved the 2 off of the top shelf because just like with these, I was monitoring the sun, and I noticed that once the sun was over here, like toward the end of the day, it was shining right across the top. Not these, but just right across the top of those violets. So I popped that purple one down on the ground, and the other one is just right over here. And this one stays pretty much protected all day, and it looks pretty here anyway. And this is one of our maverick white geraniums that we planted from seed in, was it late November? So we've got one in bloom right there. And then our tray of them are looking just amazing. And we've got a couple more blooms right here and right here. Yeah, so these plants are just looking so great. And this one actually has more buds forming up. Look at that. How fun. Okay, first part of our project is done. Now we're gonna head out to the garden to plant. It's beautiful now. It's starting to feel warmer. The sun is out, and we've got 1 lilac and 2 peonies to plant. We're starting with the lilac out here in the dirtlands because we don't have anything like that out here yet. And the dirtlands does not look like dirtlands in the spring. It's so beautiful and green. This right here is our lilac, not looking like much right now, but it's all budded up. It's going to be beautiful. This is a Donald Wyman lilac. It grows 10 feet tall by 8 feet wide, and you can see the color of the blooms there, that nice like light lilac color. And this one is hardy down to zone 2, which is awesome. And lilacs like our high pH soil. They're one of those that you can kind of just plant, and as long as it's getting semi-consistent moisture once it's established, it should be pretty happy. And the leaves on this one, I did pick this one up last year. We wintered it over behind the greenhouse. They're really deep green and they're really thick. They just seem like very strong, sturdy leaves, and they turn kind of a buttery yellow in the fall. And I'm thinking it might be a beautiful shrub to tuck in right here. Right behind it, we'll have a Royal Frost birch, which has the nice purple foliage. And then we've got a Vanderwolf pine with the kind of blue tint. We've got some Spartan junipers for the green. This is a slender, no, which one is that? This is a sweet gum. Can't remember the variety. Warpleston? Is that even a thing? That seems right. I don't know. I think it'd be nice to have a shrub that doesn't get super big right in here. In the end, we want this to be a thick border. Like, we want everything to touch. We want it to just be a nice green screen here. So yeah, I think right in here will be perfect. Let's go set it there. Yep. Perfect. Oh, good. Okay, we've got our auger. I didn't unload my gator from yesterday's project. So we've got some biotone. I've got a 7-inch auger. That pot's a little bit bigger. I'll just kind of rock the auger around and it kind of reams the hole out a little bit bigger, but it shouldn't take long to get this one in the ground. Oh, let me show you the other plants. These are the peonies, and oh, the coral charm. They are so pretty. These also wintered over behind our greenhouse. We have a nice little crop of weeds coming up in here. Get those taken care of. But a lot of promising, gorgeous new growth. These grow about 3 by 3. I can't remember what zone they are. Let's look. Zones 4 through 8. These will be beautiful out in the south garden where they will be highly visible. Okay, now let's plant the lilac. And there it is. I think it's just perfect. I cannot wait to see the little purple color that we're going to get to enjoy this spring in this spot. I love it. It's gonna be so fun to have some spring color out here. Okay, now let's go get these peonies in. And here they are. I think they're gonna be perfect in this spot. So we've got the 2 of them. There's some Agastache that's planted in this area that will come up and bloom later, but I think it'll be perfect because the leaf canopy on those will not be super big when these are blooming. So, I mean, the blooms won't coincide here, but I think we're gonna have a really wonderful progression of blooms because we've got the show-off forsythia and those beautiful white hyacinths over there. We've got the peonies that will bloom next. Then we've got Agastache, and there's a pink coreopsis in here as well. And then there's daylilies, buddleia. There's also the impressionist climbing rose right here, which is an apricot color. So it's just going to be a really pretty little spot. And the peonies will give us really nice fall color in here as well. And that is it for our projects today. What a perfect blend of things that I wanted to get done. And having something that I needed to get done in the greenhouse when the weather wasn't as nice, and then we're able to get out here when it's just perfect. Oh, our weather's been so erratic over the last few days. We've had hail the last 3 days, like pretty good size hail too. It never lasts for too long, but yeah, we've had hail and rain and wind, and so I'm thankful for this sun. Now I feel like I can take my vest off. Time to shed a layer. We will be giving you updates on these plants as they start to grow and fill in. I think we're going to be starting tours here pretty quick, probably within the next month or so. We'll start walking around so that we can get a good idea of how the garden looks each month out of the growing season. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.